Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. We're going to talk Browns. We're going to talk the Guardians and uh, their chase for the division of the wild card spot. But first, and we'll get to all that. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. And it is a Browns trivia question. After their 5-11 season in 2003, who did the Cleveland Browns take in the first round of the NFL draft in 2003 that year? I'll have the answer later in the podcast. Well, the Browns are not winless anymore, and Andre Schmitz has gone from being nearly run out of town to being one of the most popular Browns players in Cleveland. The rookie kicker booted a 55-yard field goal as time expired to give the Browns an improbable 13-10 victory over the Packers and over the Green Bay Packers today. It was exciting. It was good to pull through for my teammates, Schmidt said. Obviously, a couple of weeks back, that's in the past. It's good to do it for them. Cleveland is now 1-2 on the season, scored all of its points in the final 3 minutes and 38 seconds to snap an 8-game losing streak dating to last season. Uh, According to Sport Radar, it's the first time in franchise history the Browns have won a game in which they had scored no points and trailed by at least 10 with 4 minutes remaining. The last time it happened in the NFL was when Denver rallied to beat Chicago on December 11th, 2011. Supplying the winning points was Schmidt, who took the blame after he missed an extra point and field goal in the Browns' 17-16 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 1. I'm really proud of that young man. I'm happy for that young man, Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said. He has been through a lot in his life, and I will tell you, and this kid's come through. And the Browns ended up winning with the type of complementary football that Stefanski has been stressing. The defense sacked Jordan Love 4 times before coming up with the crucial turnover. Cleveland got its first takeaway of the season with 3:18 remaining when Grant Delpit picked off Love's pass and returned it 25 yards to the Packers 4. And it was also the first turnover of this year for Green Bay, who are now 2-1 and marked its first time in 10 regular season starts dating to last season that Love had been picked off. The offense struggled but came up with the big plays when needed. Quinshon Judkins had 94 yards on 18 carries, including his first NFL touchdown on a 1-yard run up the middle to tie the game at 10 with 3:02 remaining in the fourth quarter. I think today is as tough as it can be. We won a football game, and it was hard, said Joe Flacco, who completed 21 of 36 passes for 142 yards and an interception. It's hard when you're in your own stadium and you can't put points on the board. Everybody feels it, and you feel it, but you've got to keep going out there and doing your job and having faith that you know something's going to happen and we're going to get it done. The special teams got 2 field goals from Schmidt, but Shelby Harris blocked a potential game-winning 43-yard field goal attempt from Brandon McManus after Judkins TD and Greg Newsom II recovered at the 47. That gave the Browns a shot at not having to go into overtime. Harris and Malik Collins were able to get penetration over the guard, which led to the block. I have a 6 foot, 10.5 wingspan, so that kind of helps out too. Harris said, but you know it's Just it's just I have to have a knack for it. It's instinct, but also it's a little bit of skill, but also it's the guys around you. Cleveland took over and went 16 yards in 5 plays. Flacco had an 8-yard completion to David Njoku on 3rd and 2, and to get the ball to the Packers 35 when they spiked the ball, bringing Schmitz on with 2 seconds remaining. Schmidt ended up being mobbed by teammates after his kick before running near the bleachers and doing a leap into Cleveland's infamous dog pound, which was celebrating its 40th anniversary today. And Browns greats Hanford Dixon and Frank Minifield, who came up with the nickname, were in attendance. Man, what a kick! Something made out of a movie. Man Delpit said, for as much elation Cleveland felt, it was a gut punch for Green Bay. The last time it had a similar collapse was on November 5th, 1967, at Baltimore. The Packers led 10-0 before Johnny Unitas threw a pair of TD passes in the last 3 minutes to give the Colts a 13-10 victory. That's when the Colts were the Baltimore Colts, as you might recall. That was extremely disappointing. Obviously, to have an opportunity to win the game and have them flip the script late, it's tough to deal with. Packers coach Matt LaFleur said, we played well enough defensively to win the game, but we didn't do a good enough job on offense and special teams. Love completed 18 of 25 passes for 103 yards, including a 3-yard TD to John Fitzpatrick with 3:23 remaining in the third quarter to put the Packers up 10-0. It was a tough loss for sure, Love said. Adversity is going to strike us at some point this season, and it struck today. Now, for injuries, Packers right tackle Zach Torn, who missed last week's game against Washington due to an oblique strain, aggravated the injury in the first offensive play. Offensive guard Aaron Banks had a groin injury, was injured late in the first half. Safety Javon Bullard went off in the fourth quarter after appearing to be temporarily knocked out after taking a hit to his helmet. Browns right tackle DeJuan Jones suffered a knee injury on the first series and did not return. Now, next week, the Packers are at Dallas next Sunday night. The game will take place 1 month after Micah Parsons was traded from the Cowboys to the Packers, and the Browns got a tough task ahead of them as they travel to Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions next Sunday. That will be a 1 o'clock start. That will be on Fox. And guess what, folks? I get to give the game balls to the Browns. Well, first of all, I give one to Andre Schmidt for that game-winning field goal. Grant Dilpin for the interception, which led to his touchdown. And Quishon Judkins, I give one to him. And so, and also David Njoku. So they get the game balls for today. And the Browns go to 1-2. Green Bay falls to 2-1 on the season. And we're going to get to the entire NFL scoreboard in just a moment and get back to the Browns. But first, here's the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 Week 3 trivia question. There's a Browns trivia question. After their 5-11 season in 2003, who did the Browns take in the first round of the NFL draft? And if you said Kellen Winslow Jr., you are correct. Kellen Winslow Jr., the Cleveland Browns took Kellen Winslow Jr. in the first round of the NFL draft after their 5-11 season in 2003. And I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. And boy, just I'm going to go back into the Browns, and I want to get to to the box score. Quishon Junkins had 18 attempts, 94 yards, and 138 one sack, uh, and Andrea Schmidt was. I want to take a look here. I think 2 for 2, and DeAndre Carter, who started out as it was Corey Andre Schmidt was 2 for 2 on field goals, and Corey Borges was 6 for 46 on field goals. But Andre Schmidt gets a game ball, and Grant Dilpit had that one touchdown. It was an interception for a touchdown, and boy, just as it and it was the first downs. The Browns had in just 10 possessions had 15 first downs, and passing was at 70, and just really very few. There was only 3 penalties the Browns had today, and there were very few penalties that the Browns did have, and the one touchdown that came in the fourth quarter. They did have one was a passing one, and boy, they just really took the field, the Browns, and although they did not score through 3, but came up late in the fourth quarter when they needed to do it, this is a win we will take. So I got to tell you, this is one win I think the Browns will never forget. And I think it's going to put that spark in them for next week. Now we're going to get to the scoreboard right now. And for this game, I did not win on it. Neither did my brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle. I took Green Bay and lost 13-10. And so did my brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle. He took the Packers as well, and he lost. And first of all, we're going to all over it. We're going to go over all of today's action, beginning with the Carolina Panthers just shut out the Atlanta Falcons 30-0 at Bank of America Stadium in Carolina. And I give the game ball to Bryce Young. I give to him and their offense as well. And I took Atlanta and I lost. So did my brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle. What is going on with Atlanta? The Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Houston Texans at their home 17-10 at Everbank Stadium. And Jacksonville, Houston falls to 0-3. Hopefully they can try to get a win next week. The Cincinnati Bengals, oh boy, they were just trounced by Minnesota today, 48-10. And for that Jacksonville, I took Houston and lost. So did my brother-in-law, and I took Minnesota. I took Cincinnati and I lost. My brother-in-law took Minnesota and won. My brother-in-law Eric Hoyle. The Pittsburgh Steelers came from behind to tie it up at 14-all, but then went on to make a comeback to beat the New England Patriots today at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, 21-14. I give it to Aaron Rodgers, and T.J. Watt I give the game balls to. And I took Pittsburgh, and I won on this one. My brother-in-law took the Patriots, and he lost on that one. The Philadelphia Eagles came from behind to beat the Los Angeles Rams 30-26. So I give it to Jalen Hurts the game ball. And Philly is now 3-0 on the season. And boy, I took Philly and I won on that one. So did my brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers The Jets had tied the game, and then kicked a field goal and led 27-26. But in the final seconds, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kicked the field goal, and they managed to get the win by 2 over the New York Jets, who fall to 0-3, 29-27. I give it to Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, the game balls. And I took Tampa Bay and won. And my brother-in-law took Tampa Bay as well, and he won on that one. The Indianapolis Colts defeated the Tennessee Titans at Nissan Stadium in Tennessee. Tennessee falls to 0-3, 41-20. I took Indianapolis and won. And my brother-in-law took the Titans and lost. Boy, Tennessee has really been struggling so far this season. And the Washington Commanders beat the Las Vegas Raiders 41-24 at Northwest Stadium in Washington, or in Maryland, excuse me. And boy, just the Raiders had chances, but they just couldn't capitalize on them. I took Washington and won. So did my brother-in-law Eric Oil. He won on that one. The Seattle Seahawks just all over the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints fall to 0-3. And they 44-13. The Seahawks get the win, and they go to 2-1 in the season. I got to give the game ball to Geno Smith and DK Metcalf. I took Seattle and won. So did my brother-in-law Eric Oil. He took Seattle. The Denver Broncos, who led, didn't lead for long, but they came back. The Chargers came back and they tied it at 20, and then in the final seconds kicked a field goal to beat the Denver Broncos 23-20. I give the game ball to Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Boy, Denver I thought was going to get the win, but didn't. My brother-in-law took Denver and lost. I took the Chargers and won. And the San Francisco 49ers came from behind. They kicked a field goal in the final seconds to beat the Arizona Cardinals 16-15. And I give the game ball to Mac Jones and Christian McCaffrey. And I took Frisco and won, San Francisco and won. My brother-in-law took the Cardinals and lost. And the Chicago Bears get their first win of the season. And their new head coach gets their first win as an NFL head coach. 31-14 over the Cowboys. And I give the game ball to Caleb Williams and the Bears. And right now, in MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, on Sunday Night Football over on NBC, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 0-2, want to avoid an 0-3 start. So must win for them. They're up 3-0 right now over the New York Giants. And tomorrow night on Monday Night Football, on Thursday night, the Buffalo Bills, as you know, beat the Miami Dolphins 31-21. I give the game ball to Josh Allen and the Bills. And tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, will be the Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions at M&T Bank in Baltimore, Maryland. I took Buffalo. I won for that Thursday night game. So did my brother-in-law. I took the Bears for today's game between Chicago and Dallas. My brother-in-law took Cowboys and lost. My brother-in-law is 6-6-8, and I am 10-4 right now. So if I can win these last two games, I will be 12-4 for this week. And unfortunately, the Guardians, fell to the Minnesota Twins today in the series finale of that series, and it was 6-2. And the Guardians are now, and the Tigers lost to Atlanta, got shut up, lost 6-2 to Atlanta. So, which keeps the Guardians still one game out of first place, and they've got a 3-game series with Detroit beginning on Tuesday. They are off tomorrow, So, and but I mean, this was the time of the Guardians' 10-game win streak got snapped. So, but I think if we can at least take 2 out of 3 out of Detroit, that will be good. I think that's what they need to do. And uh, here's my question. I'm gonna say, Browns have the Lions next week. What 3 things do they need to do to beat the Lions? They need to score early. The offense needs to step it up again as they did today, although not until the fourth quarter. They got to do it earlier, and as well as the special teams, they both got to do it earlier. But they did step it up come the fourth quarter and get the running game going. I like the way that Quishon Jenkins stepped up. He's going to do it again next week. But they got to jump on Detroit early if they want to win this game. And they really need to put points on the board early. And they need to have no turnovers and very few penalties whatsoever. They need to win on turnovers and have very few penalties whatsoever. So those are the things I feel they need to do to win next week's game against uh, the Detroit Lions in week 4. And Ohio State is on a bye week, but right now we're going to get to the MLB scoreboard. We're going to get to the scoreboard right now of Major League Baseball. It's the top of the 7th in Houston, and Seattle is all over Houston, 7-1. Tampa Bay is down on Boston, 3-1 in the middle of the 5th, in Tropicana Field in Tampa. And Boston, we need to keep an eye on that one because that's who's chasing us for that final wild card spot. Now, as you know, I mentioned that Atlanta beat Detroit 6-2, and the Guardians have a 3-game set with Detroit beginning on Tuesday. And hopefully we can take 2 out of 3. I'd like to see us sweep. If we can do that, that'd be great. But at least take 2 out of 3. Oh, in Baltimore, the New York Yankees just all over the Baltimore Orioles, 7-1. And boy, I think the Yankees really finally got a win that they needed to have and snap that losing skid they had. Oh, and the Pittsburgh Pirates at Azekir Stadium in Pittsburgh got out the Athletics 11-0 today. And boy, this was a big win, but a bad loss for the Athletics. The Cincinnati Reds beat the Chicago Cubs 1-0 in Cincinnati at Shea Stadium in New York. The Mets fought the Nationals 3-2. The San Diego Padres beat the Chicago White Sox at Comiskey Park in Chicago 3-2. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Kansas City Chiefs at Kauffman Stadium in KC 8-5. You know, the Guardians fought Minnesota 6-2. The St. Louis Cardinals beat the Milwaukee Brewers 5-1 at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Miami Marlins beat the Texas Rangers 4-2. The Colorado Rockies beat the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 3-1. The San Francisco Giants beat the LA Dodgers 3-1 at Dodger Stadium, and the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Philadelphia Phillies at State Farm Stadium in Arizona, in Glendale, Arizona, 9-2. So that's your Major League scoreboard, and for today, and 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 I'm gonna feature a player. That's one of my new wrinkles, to feature a player. And I thought, boy, this was just a day full of big wins, and there were very surprise upsets as well. So I gotta tell you, and this was just one of those days where And Kansas City is the Chiefs are now up on the Giants 6-0. Second quarter, 9:36 to go to halftime. And I'm going to feature a player in sports, and that is going to be uh, the Browns. Quinshon Judkins, and he really came through. And he had been struggling, but he's really stepped it up. And I really think, and Judkins got to the goal line, and the TD ties the game with 3:01 left. And Grant Delpit too. He was one that scored that touchdown. And boy, this was just. And Quinshon Judkins is 21 years old, and he played college football for Ole Miss for about 4 years, and he really put up some big numbers with them. And I think if he can step it up like he did today, he could be replace Nick Chubb very soon. So I really think that could very well be happening. So we'll see. We will see. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. I'll be back this week or this next weekend with another podcast. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.